Weeks dragged on heavily, like the thick, muddy sloughs of a Kabul winter. Spring had technically arrived, but in Setareh's room, not a single leaf had turned green. Following that secret note found in the checkered shirt, Bibigul had grown even more suspicious of Setareh's changing moods and intensified her search. She ransacked the room inch by inch until she found the tiny scrap of paper. That very night, with absolute coldness, she held the note over the flame of the kerosene lamp right before Setareh's weeping eyes, letting the ashes scatter into the wind. With that, Setareh's last remaining beacon of hope was incinerated. The relentless loneliness, the isolation, and the agonizing view of the boarded-up window pushed the young girl's mind into a dark, desperate place. She had grown thinner than ever, a mere shadow of the vibrant girl who used to rush out to the balcony just to sweep the snow away. She no longer even crawled to the slit in the curtain. A paralyzing, suffocating grief sat heavily on her chest. She had convinced herself that in this city, behind these towering walls of rigid tradition, there was no earthly way to reach Ahmad. The devastating thoughts that Ahmad would eventually grow tired and leave the alley, or that the darkness of Kabul would swallow him whole, leaving her to face an arranged marriage with an older man, the inevitable fate of the local girls, finally pushed her to the absolute brink. One Thursday afternoon, while her father was out working and Bibigul had gone to the corner shop to buy flour, Setareh knew her time had come. She could no longer endure this agony. She wanted to set herself free from this cage. A bitter decision, with trembling steps and vacant, lifeless eyes, Setareh walked into the dark alcove of the kitchen. She reached for a small, dark glass bottle of plant pesticide that her father had bought for the courtyard garden. Her hands, rough and shaking, gripped the cold glass as she brought it back to her room. She cast a final, lingering look at her black chador, the one that still carried the faint scent of that midnight on the roof. She unscrewed the cap, and the sharp, bitter stench of the poison instantly filled the room. Tears streamed down her hollow cheeks. She whispered under her breath, "Ahmad, forgive me. The walls of our house were just too high. Forgive me that even the sky above our rooftop couldn't save us." She lifted the bottle, placing the cold glass rim against her parched, quivering lips. She was just a single second, a single tilt of her hand away from ending the nightmare. She closed her eyes, preparing to swallow the bitter poison, when suddenly, a sound that shattered the chains, the loud, frantic pounding on the courtyard door, shattered the heavy silence of the house. Right after, the sound of Bibigul's crying and breathless voices echoed through the courtyard as she hurried inside. Setareh gasped. She swiftly shoved the bottle under her mattress, her heart leaping into her throat. Had her mother returned early and discovered everything? But the voices were different. There was another woman's voice, older, deeply respected, and fiercely determined. Setareh pressed her ear against her bedroom door. It was Mahjan, Ahmad's mother. Setareh's heart stopped. What was Ahmad's mother doing in their home? Bibigul's voice trembled with stuttering panic. "Khala Mahjan, you are most welcome. But does Asaf Khan know about this? This will lead to no good." Mahjan's voice rang out, powerful yet thick with unshed tears. "Asaf Khan has finally consented, Bibigul. My son is wasting away. Ahmad hasn't touched a piece of bread in 2 weeks. Last night he stood up to his father and swore that either you put Setareh's hand in his, or he will throw himself into the Kabul River." Asaf Khan saw his eldest son, the hope of his home, slipping away, and he fell to his knees. "I have come today with my white chador to ask for your daughter's hand for my son. Kabul has seen enough blood, Bibigul. Let these 2 children live." From the depths of darkness to the light. Behind the closed door, Setareh's knees buckled, and she collapsed onto the floor. She couldn't believe it. Ahmad had fought. He had stood his ground against his father, against the unyielding traditions of his family, and he had won. The bottle of poison beneath the mattress now felt like a terrifying, distant nightmare. A few minutes later, Setareh's door swung open. Bibigul walked in. Her mother's face had lost its terrifying authority. Her eyes were a mixture of shock, surrender, and perhaps a hidden trace of relief. She took Setareh by the hand, raised her up, and draped a beautiful white floral chador over her head. In a soft, hushed voice, she said, "Lift your head, my girl. Wipe your tears. Ahmad's mother is waiting for you." When Setareh stepped into the guest room, Majan wiped her own tears at the sight of the frail, yet breathtakingly beautiful girl. She stepped forward, kissed Setareh's forehead, and pulled a pair of antique gold bracelets from her pocket, gently sliding them onto Setareh's trembling wrists. The true spring of Kabul. Later that evening, Bibigul finally unlocked the heavy nails of Setareh's window. Perhaps her own heart had finally softened. With hands still shaking from pure adrenaline, Setareh pushed the heavy curtains aside and lifted the glass frame. The crisp, cool spring air of Kabul rushed into the room. Ahmad was standing